Hi, this video will cover the Replication Manager, which is new in c-tree 3.0.2. That was released with COBOL version 2023 R1. It's called Memphis, and it runs in a browser, and it has drag and drop and GUI screens that make it easy to set up data replication. Now, each of the servers that you use in data replication must have a c-tree license that is specific for data replication. It has data replication features enabled. Talk to your account manager to get the license. You'll also need to enable transaction logging on all of the files that you want to replicate. For new files, you can add the transaction configuration to your c-tree.conf or your properties file. Existing files can be modified for transaction logging by using cutil's -tron switch. The first step is to start the Replication Manager, Memphis. You'll also need c-tree with data replication installed in two different places, usually on two different servers. And then you set up the configuration for each of your c-tree services, your production and your replication, and you start them. Then you run Memphis in a browser. It's easy to draw a linking line between the servers that you want the replication done on. This will prompt you to create a new publication. A publication is the information from the production server about which files to replicate. Once the publication is available, the replication server needs to subscribe to that publication and determine where the files are going to be saved. This publication and subscription combination is the replication plan. And the last step is to deploy the replication plan, which will start the connection, and it'll turn the link between the two icons green. The first step is to set up the Memphis server. So I'm in my c-tree installation. I'm going to go to Replication Manager and Replication Manager. And I need to do some configuration before I start it, so we'll go into the config folder. And we're going to look at the CT agent. And here it is. And then I changed the host name from localhost to the IP address of this computer here that I'm going to run it in. If I wanted to change the default port that it was going to start on, I would go into this HTTP file here. But I don't, so we'll come back and go down to Memphis, click on it to start it. And it started. It's important to start Memphis first so that it will automatically register the c-tree servers when they start up. Now let's go to our production server, which for the demonstration purposes I'm using the same computer. I want to configure it first, so I'll go into the config folder. And here's my server configuration. I'm going to click on that. And in order to do replication, I needed to uncomment these two lines. These are my replication plugins. Now that I have uncommented those two lines, I can start my server. Go into Server and click on c-tree. And if I look down here, I can see my two servers. There's my production server, and here's Memphis. Now I want my target server that I'm going to replicate the data to be a different server. So I have here a different Windows server. I have a duplicate installation, and I want to go into my config again and uncomment those same two plugin lines, these two here. And in this case, I want to tell it where Memphis is running as well. So I'm going to go into the CT agent that's in my servers config folder and change the host again to my Memphis host IP. Now that I have both of those set, I can start my server. And there it is started. And again, I can check in my icons, and there's my server. So my environment is now set up. Let's go and look at Memphis. I started Memphis on a default port, 8080. And we'll go to the Replication Manager and log in. It's admin and admin. And here are my three servers, Memphis, my production server, and my replication server, or target. So I'm going to hover over the edge here and see how it turns into a link, and then click and drag to the replication server. And this window comes up, and I want to create a new publication. I'm going to keep the default name. I'm going to copy all of the files in a folder. I could pick specific files, or if my files were SQLized, I could pick a C-tree database. And I'm going to take the C-tree default, which is the data folder. So I'll click on that, pops down here. In this step, step 3, we can exclude a specific file by choosing it. I don't have any, so we'll go to next. And here we can choose to skip a bunch of files. For instance, in this folder, they have the log files, the FCS, so I'm going to skip the .fcs. And next, this is a summary of what I've set up. It looks fine. We'll click on Finish. And now we have a new publication. Now, the next step is to subscribe to the publication. So I'll click on Subscribe, and we can look at the folders. And in this case, I want to go to the same folder on the replication server. So I'll leave that the way it is, and we'll save that. Now we have created a publication, and we've subscribed to it. I'm going to close. And I'll right-click on here, and I want to deploy it. When it is deployed and started, you'll see that the link turns green. All right, so let's go test this. I have two programs, one that will write a file and one that will modify one of the records. And in my isCOBOL.properties, I have set transaction logging to true. Remember, that's important. And then my file index is c-treeRTG. So I'll run those two programs. And then let's go take a look at these. In Memphis, I'm going to right-click on the plan and go down to Activity. And here is the activity that has happened. You can see every 10 seconds it's reporting. And it's analyzing one thread. That's good. I only have one. And you can see here how many commits and additions, and then it had some updates. This is exactly what I did. So if I look in my data folders, I should see my file. It's file1.dat, created at 1017. When I go to my replication server, under data, I should also have, there it is, file1 at 1017. And there's the new Memphis, the Replication Manager. If you have any questions, you can contact us at support@variant.com. Thank you.